Hey, hi. Nice to yeah, I'm back in England and jet lagged a bit. Not as bad going back. I think it's because of the time. You catch time up a little bit instead of going against it. I think. Um, yeah, I stayed awake on the plane and it didn't help. I was next to a rather large guy, um, and yeah, it was a long flight. Um, but yeah, I'm back. I just wanted to say it was a really good, amazing trip, and I just wanted to kind of just quickly reflect on a couple of things around, you know, Japan is amazing. The people are really amazing, and what I like, it's a very respectful country, and being in London, how it's changed over the last 2 decades or whatever. We was always known for kind of respect and queuing and all those little things like that's all gone now. And they just like, very respectful. Everything's kind of like, even, like things like with the traffic lights where they all wait for the, signal, and everything's kind of like they queue. In all my time there, I just found that really refreshing, and you know, just the way the people are. Even on the trains, when the the guards walk out of the carriage, they stop, turn around, and bow, and then walk. It's like, these little things that I really really enjoyed. Just the people were so nice, and I met some people who I didn't even know, and they treated me, you know, uh, took me into their homes, and looked after me, and that was incredible. And I think there was a few things that I didn't do in my trip that I was going to do, and a few big changes happened around. You know, Stefan not coming with me in the last week of my trip, and also we having to move the river baptism and make it a more private affair. Things like that were kind of big things, but and that kind of had an impact, I think, on my last week. I think I found traveling on my own really hard. Um, and it stopped me from going out doing some of the things. I just didn't have the energy to kind of deal with the amount of capacity of energy you use in just doing simple things can be really hard. That's what I found. But then there was the unexpected things like the meeting, Fuji and her husband, and they're both professors and going to the university, and even playing in front of them was really cool. But also just talking about my country, we had a good discussions about immigration and just what it's life like in England, and the students are really like really cool, and then actually sitting in a class and helping them with their in the English class, all in little groups and going and joining the little groups and discussing that was really really special. um you know and then meeting her grandparents, and just being part of that life and having breakfast with them in the morning, and and that they were wonderful, and then meeting Akiko was really nice as well. I didn't know she was a friend of a friend, and she went out of her way to kind of really help me, and sent me something when I was in my hotel in Osaka. There was a package waiting for me, and I think the kind of personal things, in Hamamatsu, Stefan and Kiko looked after me, like, took me to all the places by car. They wouldn't let me pay for anything. I mean, nothing. Uh, you know, that they made sure, you know, that I saw, you know, what their life was like, you know, sort of things they do, just joining the little things like the you know, the radio exercise in the morning, and just part of their life, you know, is really nice. And it's something that I think, you know, just going out there and doing the tourist thing, I never would have seen. So that made up for, you know, the things that I didn't see. You know, I got a real view of Japanese life, um, you know, which can't be bought, you know, at all. Um, so yeah, for my friends who said to me, you know, you go out there and, you know, make some videos of what's, you know, so when I go, I know what to do, what not to do. You know, I would just say prepare yourself, you know, if you're going alone, especially for the really simple things to be quite tricky around, you know, transport. I mean, unless you're planning on learning Japanese, you know, a phrase book's not going to get you anywhere really. You know, it's nice to have the you know, the simple things like being able to, you know, being able to say thank you, you know, arigato, and being polite, and but like, there's no point in learning, you know, what's the way to the station, because they're going to speak back to you and you're not going to know what they're saying. You know, but be prepared for that. You know, you may be younger than me, so you might have a bit more energy. I found it like really tricky sometimes. You know, the really simple little things can be really challenging. Um, you know, but yeah, you know, just prepare and have an inventory and of what you're going to do. Work out where you're going, and you know, but just in, you know, it's an amazing place. Um, you know, and I'm like, be prepared. You know, for food. Food's very different. Not going to be as easy to just like I thought. You know, like London, you can buy anything, right? I mean, you can in Tokyo, I guess, in the cities, but you're mainly going to be in Japanese food, and you know, it is different. Um, you know, I didn't eat anything Western for my first, you know, like few days, first week, I think. You know, and I really felt it a little bit. Um, you know, but you know, the food's different. It is amazing in some ways. In other ways, it's tricky, I found. Um, you know, but yeah, you know, it's a beautiful country, and you're not going to have problem with the people. That's for sure. You people are just are the real plus, and can learn so much from Japan. I tell you, the way they do things, just the simple things that they do are so good. You know, they think of everything in the ways of simplicity. They do so well. So yeah, I'm gonna miss my heated toilet seat, um, and you know, the simple little things like that. That, you know, I'm probably going to be waiting at crossings now for a bit, and you know, I'll probably be a lot more politer to people than I was before I left. You know, some good things that I've taken from a beautiful country, and I thank everyone for looking after me when I was there, and I will certainly never forget Japan. Yeah. Okay. Signing out, guys. Bye.